Hello, this is Mark Warren and I'm back with an update on my vision restoration journey, and also I'm going to talk about a lot of frequently asked questions that I get in comments, as well as ones through my website. So for the past few weeks I've been working on balancing my left eye and also trying to get rid of the astigmatism. So I made quite a bit of progress on that. Yesterday I worked for a long time just doing rocking drills at the edge of blur for my left eye and made some progress with that. This morning when I woke up, I had some severe double vision. Everything was just super double vision in both eyes. But I continued to do my regular habits and techniques as usual. I can say me and my wife, we had a good evening. We probably had a little bit too much wine, so I woke up with a bit of a headache, but you know what? I kept going through my regular habits that I've established, noticing movement as I walk, as I move around. So I got up, made some coffee, started making breakfast, and before you knew it, at one point, I was aware of my peripheral the entire time. Before you knew it, at one time I'm looking down as I'm cooking and things just got sharp, like super sharp. And then I looked out the windows, I'm reading numbers across the street, I'm reading my neighbor's license plate on his car. I turned around and looked in the dining room, and we have a little wall hanging about the size of 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, or 8 by 10, and it has some text all over it. So I'm reading that pretty much crystal clear, a little ghosted double vision that goes a little bit off to the upper left. But other than that, I was reading everything crystal clear, and that lasted for pretty much most of the morning. After that, we went out and took a walk to the farmer's market to get some vegetables for the week, and I'm still reading pretty crystal clear. Things were sharper in the far distance. I know I'm looking down the street probably about a mile away. I can see the definition in the trees. Just again, just a slight ghosted image, double vision image, but I kept that clarity pretty much most of the morning. A few times it faded back to a little more double vision, but again, as long as I was being aware of my peripheral, and doing my habits that I normally do, noticing that movement, things like that, I was able to keep it clear. Today was one of the best vision days I've ever had because I was just keeping things clear almost the entire time. Like I said, a few times it would phase in and out. Once I said, oh, you're starting to tunnel again, boom, it snapped right back. So I'm very close. I'm like this close to pretty much resolving everything. So that's my update. That's where I'm at. I'm still hoping before my next eye appointment, which is around about the end of October, I should be crystal clear. I want to talk about some frequently asked questions that people keep asking over and over in the comments. So I'm going to address all that in this video, and I encourage you to watch it, and let's just go through the list. So, can I do this with glasses? Yes, but you need to have blur challenge. So if you're working at your computer, you need to have a lower prescription that allows you to be at blur. Just slight blur. If you have to move closer to see things clear for the time being, that's fine, but you need to be able to sit back and be at blur. The only way you're going to improve your eyes is if you have blur challenge constantly, and that means work your peripheral, make sure you're noticing movement as you're working in front of your computer and all that. I think I said in my last video, I worked in front of my computer for 4 hours noticing my peripheral the entire time, and my vision got better. So yes, you can do this in glasses. I recommend a second pair just for distance. And again, if you're going to use a pair of distance glasses, they need to have blur. So you don't want it completely sharp at the farthest thing away. You want it to have some blur because you have to start noticing that peripheral. It'll sharpen up the distance stuff. How much you choose to reduce, that's up to you. If you're high myopia, again, recommend those 2 pair of glasses, one for close-up, that's reduced, one for your distance, that's reduced, until you can get under -4, -3. Once you start getting under those numbers, then you need to stop wearing your glasses as much. working in front of the computer, try to take them off. When I first started doing this, I was at -5, -4 with the astigmatism in my left eye. I actually had the computer screen probably about 12 inches away from my face. So I'm like reading really close. And this was before I was even aware of all the peripheral stuff. But I was doing that to challenge my eyes to actually work without glasses. And even though I was so close to the screen, it helped me be able to back. Before you knew it, I was out 20 inches from the screen and I could do work. Now it's, like I said, it's over 30, 32, 36 inches that I can sit away from the screen without the glasses. So again, blur challenge is what you need if you're going to wear glasses. Now, one thing about glasses, best type of glasses. The glasses that I wear, as you can see, and I'm not going to look through these right now because I don't want to jack up my eyes. I've been having such a good day. But you'll notice these frames are very big. They sit very close back on my nose and they're very thin. This is so I can see movement and my peripheral a lot easier because they sit so far back on the bridge of my nose. They're wide, they're big. It's easier to see my peripheral in glasses like this. Now, if you have thicker or thin lenses on your glasses, really small ones like this, I don't recommend them because this distorts your peripheral. You have all this in the way, getting in the way. So again, I don't recommend these type of glasses if you're trying to be more aware of your peripheral. Get something with bigger lenses, thinner frames, so you can see more of your peripheral movement as you're moving around. How long should I do the eye exercises? I want to be very clear. They're not eye exercises. They're not eye exercises. They are techniques that you need to get used to so you're in the habit of seeing this way all the time. The more you practice these techniques and start seeing these movements, you're going to build it into habit. So you want to see that peripheral movement. You want to see stuff in your peripheral, things moving around, panning left, right, up, down. So how long should you be doing them? You should be doing them from the time you wake up until the time you go to bed. I am constantly aware of my peripheral from the moment I get up until the moment I go to bed. Walking down the hall, I'm looking at stuff converge, diverge. That's inside. When I'm sitting at my computer, when I start tunnel visioning and I'm not moving my eyes properly, I'll start rocking in the chair as I do work. Put on some good music and rock to the beat. Going outside, again, watching converging, diverging. I'm doing this all day. I'm looking at motion between multiple objects all day. And the more I tell myself, stop tunnel visioning, look at motion, the more it's become habit, which is, again, explains why I woke up this morning, even though I started off bad. Once I started doing my habits, it was all automatic after that. Double vision. Double vision will come and go, especially if your eyes are unequal. The more you do the mobile movement, noticing the converging, diverging, the easier it is to clear that up. So don't freak out by double vision. If you get it, it'll go away over time as long as you continue to do what you've been doing. Noticing peripheral movement, track motion between objects as you're moving. It'll correct itself. Same with astigmatism. Use the mobile movement technique, the converge and divergent, watching distance between objects as they go in and out of your view. Two objects, tree and a pole. You're walking. You still see the pole. You see the tree go out of your view this way. That's the type of motion that you need to look for. That will help with your astigmatism. It'll help with double vision. Corrects all of it. Should I patch? No, I don't recommend patching. Work both eyes together. Patching, I've done it for a little bit, and it puts a lot of strain on the eye that is underneath the patch. It's actually very strenuous, especially in the extraocular muscles when you take that patch off, and then it has to get used to the light and the environment again. I recommend working both eyes together. Now you can work your weaker eye at the edge of blur, so even though this one might be seeing good, take off your glasses or whatever, or even if you have your lower prescription, get to that edge of blur on your weaker eye and just do the rocking. Just do the rocking drill. And again, being aware of your peripheral the entire time that you're doing the rocking drill. After a couple of minutes, take a break, close your eyes, open, try to keep them open as long as possible, wait for that stinging. Now you're working that eye versus this one. Sometimes this one might sting, but you might get more stinging out of this one than this one. And like I said, do that at the edge of blur for the weaker eye. The more you do that, again, it helps balance the eyes out. If you have astigmatism, it'll help fix that also as well. And again, if you have double vision, go outside and do your motion and convergent drills. Should I blink? Somebody asked this. I've found by not blinking, it works the weak muscles more to make them release. The longer you can hold your eyes open, the better. I found blinking, it's kind of like taking a rest in the middle of a workout. For example, say you're doing arm curls with a dumbbell and you're supposed to do 3 sets of 10 reps each. Instead, what you end up doing, you do 1 rep, then you blink. That's like taking a coffee break. Is it really an effective workout if you're doing that? No, it's not. You're not getting those muscles trained. So blinking basically disrupts the muscles trying to work out. So that movement gives stimulus to that ciliary muscle, gets them to work out. Every time you blink, you disrupt that. When I first started this, I would have great clarity, then I would get double vision, it would phase back to clear, then I would blink and then it would be gone. And that's when I learned to stop blinking so much. Now that I've been doing this for a while and built up some muscle in that ciliary, in the eyes, when I get full clarity, blinking has no effect for me now because the eyes are stronger now. It doesn't disrupt it. So I keep clarity now despite the blink. Over time, your eyes will get strong enough that blinking won't disrupt any clarity that you see. This question, is the tearing just a contact lens effect? No, it is not a contact lens effect. First off, the tears usually don't come until after you've stimulated the ciliary with movement. You close your eyes, then you open them. That's when the tearing typically starts. Sometimes it can start before, but typically it'll start after you've stimulated. You give them a rest, you open them back up, and it's like, oh, there it is, stinging and tearing. So the tears don't come just from holding your eyes open the entire time. So after a while, after you get more used to that sensation, you won't have any tearing at all. You'll feel the stinging, but you won't have the tears. And that's the point that I'm at now. I feel it every time I get a release, but I don't have the tears with it. So now I'm producing really no tears. My eyes still have plenty of moisture and all that. They're not dry or anything, but I get clarity after that release there. So again, it's not a contact lens effect. Rocking. People have asked, are you just moving your head? No, I'm not moving my head. Rocking is rocking from your waist. Your entire body rocks. If you're standing, you're going to rock from your feet or your waist. You are moving side to side. So, hope that squashes that. Some days I don't seem to be getting anywhere. Yep, it happens. Even though you may not have any progress, keep doing the good habits, the good visual techniques. You are rewiring your brain to see differently. And the more you tell your brain that I need to see peripheral and things out here, the more it eventually gets it. It's not going to be something, again, that's overnight, boom, I'm clear, whoa, great. No, it's going to take time and time, over and over again, to get used to seeing this peripheral. Now I'm at the point I'm not even really thinking about my peripheral much. I just notice it. I'm noticing movement everywhere and I see so many objects at the same time. Everybody has this thing like you can only see one thing at once. No, I was driving in my car and I'm seeing the car in front of me, the car in my rear view. I notice an SUV over here, and I notice something in my side mirror at the same time. I'm noticing all of these things simultaneously. I can pick out colors and usually determine if it's a car or SUV in my side mirrors while driving. That's crazy. The fact that I can track and see all of these objects at the same time while I'm looking at something straight ahead. So Yeah, it's like that. You don't just see one thing. You should be seeing everything at the same time. So again, just keep up with the habits and it will get easier over time, even if you're having a bad day. How long will it take? It's a question no one can really answer. This process requires time, consistency, and patience. You need all three. You have to have time to do this. You need to be consistent at what you're doing, and you need to have patience doing it all. So the more time you put into it, the faster results you're going to get. The more consistent you are with the actual habits, the faster the results you're going to get. That being said, it shouldn't take years to fix your vision. I'm almost a year in now. At the end of October, it will be my 1 year. And like I said, I am so close. I know I'm so close to being perfect vision all the time. I thought about this logically. The eye is a muscle. And if you learn how to exercise the muscle, how long does it really take to get a muscle into shape? It's a group of muscles. Connects to our brain and sends signals and all that, so we see, but it's muscles. You're really reworking the shape of those muscles. You're making them, you're releasing that ciliary, you're strengthening that ciliary at the same time. So that's just literally a workout for your eyes, and you give it stimulus by showing it motion in your peripheral. So people who are out of shape, they can learn to run a 5K in about 6 months, some even faster than that. If they want to bulk up or get stronger at the gym, within a year you can see a huge change in people's bodies' shapes just by going to the gym for a year. So why should the eyes be any different? So again, it might take more than a year, it may take a year, it may take some people even less if they have a low prescription. So all they have to do is just start being aware of all this. That fixes everything. What about axial elongation? I don't care about axial elongation. And here's why. Because the first time I saw crystal clear, I was -5 in my left, -4 in my right. And I saw clear for 2 to 3 seconds. That told me this. Despite axial elongation, my eyes were able to focus, or the ciliary was able to focus my lens enough that I could see clear for a few seconds. That's something to think about. Just think about that. Now, I understand higher myopia, you're probably not going to get that clarity until you get that prescription down. So you're going to have to work with glasses and so on until you can get that prescription down low enough that you can start doing this stuff. But despite elongation, I'm getting moments of clarity, and they last longer and longer and longer the more I get those releases to happen over and over again. So that's why I don't care about axial elongation. So what? But I will say this. I think over time what has happened, because of the fact I have the good habits of noticing my peripheral, the peripheral vision, and using the motion tracking drills, I've fixed the ciliary, I've fixed elongation, I've strengthened the ciliary, all these things at the same time, and that's why it's getting easier for me to see more clear for longer periods of time. There you go. So-and-so said blah. Okay, I don't care anymore what others are saying. I've given you all the steps of what to do, exactly what you see, and what you're going to feel. Those that are doing this are seeing the same results that I'm having. If it's working for me and working for others, then I could care less about what others say. There you go. Do you have anything backed by science? No. Science and doctors told me all my life that my vision was some kind of medical condition and that it's hereditary, but here I am fixing everything just by noticing peripheral movement, the peripheral vision, using my peripheral vision and noticing movement in my peripheral between objects. So science obviously doesn't know everything. Despite all these studies and stuff, here I am, just a regular guy. I'm not any special advance or anything like that. I fixed my vision just by doing this one simple thing. How I got to where I am today was because of logical thinking. Again, eye is a muscle. If you know how to train or exercise a muscle to get it to work right, you can change that muscle. And I did experimentation. When I got clarity, I found out how to repeat that process over and over again with consistency. So there's my science. Now there are some stuff, some papers, things. I've read some stuff about Warfield, seeing space, which had some very similar things to what I'm doing. I'm sure there's stuff out there about it somewhere. I don't have time to look through and read through all that stuff. I pretty much figured this out, you know, pretty much by the bit of information that I got. And then I started asking again that one question. Why is it people who sit in front of screens and TVs and their smartphones and stuff all the time that are 20/20, why can they do this and I can't? And again, my answer was they're seeing something that we're not. We who are myopic, we're not seeing these things. We're not noticing these types of movement. And that's what fixed my vision. Very logical thinking and experimentation. Boom. Redundant questions. I'm no longer going to answer redundant questions. I keep getting the same questions over and over again, and most of them have been addressed in this video. I specifically want to thank Opa Oma Wolf and Jing Han. Instead of watching only parts of videos and asking questions immediately, both have watched all the videos and read through all of the comments on all of the videos. The comments, the questions, my responses. Jing even read my entire website, which has a lot more back history and more technical stuff, and found references of things that you can do to eliminate double vision. I've got other things on the website a lot of people haven't even looked at. So it's there, all the description and the link to the website, it's in the description of the videos, every video I've put up. So there's a lot of helpful information there. You just have to go out and read it. So going forward, if you ask me a repeated question, I'm going to tell you to read the comments, rewatch the videos, or read the website. I don't have time to reply to comments all the time. I have a full-time job, I have other responsibilities, and my family dynamic is about to change. So all the information is there. It's all been there. I'm not holding back on anything. So what you need to fix your vision is within these few videos. Now I'll still talk about some other things and topics, but like I said, the meat, the bulk of it, it's right there for you. You just have to digest it, understand it, and then do the work. So if you don't understand the techniques, watch the videos until you get it. I've made them as easy to understand as possible. And there's no magic button, so watching the videos every day or whatever, or reading this stuff, it's not going to fix your eyes. You have to go out and do the work. You get out there and do the work, you're going to see the results, you'll see the changes. And there are plenty of people who have commented. I've gotten emails, it's in comments, they've made comments on the website. They're doing this and they're seeing the results. There's plenty of them out there. There's a list. Just read through the comments. You'll see for yourself. So if you don't believe me, go look through what they're doing. There you go. So that's it for now. I hope this answers a lot of questions that you might be having. I think I've covered pretty much most of the ones that I keep getting questions over and over again. The next video I am going to talk about bad habits, things that are bad habits that you shouldn't be doing. And I'm even taking more close look at my bad habits of things. So that video is all going to be on habits and what you need to do to change. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Stay tuned and we'll catch you on the next one.